Yeah.
Hello, I'm Brett Turner and thank you for watching. In this video, we're going to look at what lies in store for the Calgary real estate market in 2022, but with a special focus on existing Calgary property owners that might be contemplating selling. 2021 was a breakout year for Calgary real estate, with prices rising by approximately 9% overall and sales up by over 70% from 2020's numbers, well above what Calgarians would consider normal for most of our recent economic downturn. So this is really good news for existing property owners, as most will have seen improved equity positions in their homes relative to what they've been used to recently. Now, it's not a row of green lights for everyone though, as some segments of our market are still soft and others will have to decide whether to hold on for more gains or capitalize now and sell while the getting's good. Would you like to know what to consider if you might be a seller this year? All right, well, let's dig a little deeper. Okay, well, to start off, as I said earlier, if you're considering selling this year, it's generally good news, as Calgary had a strong year in 2021 with prices gaining by almost 9%. That's a lot, like more than we've had in the previous 6 years combined. So if you haven't had a baseline evaluation in your home in a while, then now would be a good time to do so. And wouldn't you know, we can help you out with that. Click on the link in the description, give us your address, and we'll send you a short video that estimates your market value based on what we can tell from recent market activity around you. No one's going to come to your house or ask you to sign anything until you're ready. All right, so once you get your valuation, you can start to work through the steps that any seller should do. And there are three main ones. The first one is figure out your as-is equity position. Now you do this by taking your market value and subtracting the cost of sale. So realtor fees, mortgage payout penalties, your mortgage balance, legal fees, and any costs related to your specific property or owner situation to get you out of your property. If you need help with this, just let us know and we can give you a hand figuring out what your equity position is right now. Okay, number two, find out if you are in a seller's market or buyer's market or a balanced market for your asset class and your community. We do this by looking at the trailing months of supply near your home. Months of supply is by far my favorite barometer for any real estate market. It takes a total amount of inventory and divides it by the number of sales in the last month. This tells you how many months it would take to sell out all of the inventory in your local market, and there are accepted benchmarks throughout the Realtor community for this. Less than 2.5 months worth of supply and you are in a seller's market. Between 2.5 and 3 months is considered balanced, and more than 3 months of supply would be a buyer's market. This matters to you because if you are in a red hot market with, say, less than 2 months of supply, then you can kind of be on your high horse a little bit and push for more money when you choose your initial asking price. If you're in a balanced local market, then you can still have confidence that you're going to sell through at a fair price, but you better bring your A game when it comes to the presentation of your property relative to for prospective buyers. Okay, if your asset class is within a buyer's market, say apartment style condos, then you have a decision to make. Do you wait to see if Calgary keeps its momentum and demand for your property increases, or is it in your best interest to make a move for your life situation at that time if you want to get into a detached property where prices are rising faster? There is no right or wrong answer here. It's entirely personal, but before you make your decision, take the advice of a practice pro. Okay, number three, lastly, you need to get your property ready to show and sell. This can take a while, but is often well worth the effort. A $2,000 paint job can often mean a $10,000 or $20,000 high sales price if you aren't looking to just dump your property and get out, and if you're intent on maximizing your value, then getting a handle on items that are unique to your specific property are really important. In particular, we want to address the low-hanging fruit. This gives you the greatest sale price return for the lowest investment of time and money. This is stuff like paint or anything that a buyer is going to touch when they're going through your house. So fix up those wobbly doorknobs, those creaky cabinets, or well-worn carpets. This can take a little bit of time to schedule and coordinate, and so it's a good idea to give a bit of time for this, as the bigger your house is, the more there will be to do. If you need help on making arrangements for this, your realtor connect you to the appropriate tradespeople to give you a hand in getting your property ready to sell. Okay, so with that stuff out of the way, let's get a little bit more Calgary specific. I'm going to break this down into 4 categories that I feel matter the most: the detached, semi-detached market, the condo market, your location, and finally your price point. This is a broad brush and nothing replaces specific advice. So remember, check us out at the link in the description below where you can get information that's most relevant to you. Okay, so let's talk asset classes. And first up is your classic detached or semi-detached house. So no condo fees and designed and built for families. This segment of the market did really well in Calgary in 2021, and it's probably going to have another great year in 2022. The detached segment gained 10% and sits at an average price of 530 grand, while the attached segment gained 8 and sits at 420 grand. Months of supply is around 2 for both of those segments. So if you own a detached or attached house in Calgary, you are looking good to sell through at a great price heading into 2022. Now, keep in mind that most families want to be settled and in their new house for the start of the school year in September. So to capture those buyers, you want to be on the market in the early spring or summer to give them the opportunity to buy your house, possibly sell theirs, and then move in and feel at home for the school year. Okay, next up we have condos, which is still a soft market in Calgary. And the reason is we still have a hangover from our last major boom in the early 2010s. At that time, our market was full steam ahead with all kinds of big dollar oil and gas jobs available. And pretty well every condo developer around wanted to cash in on this. And so up went the towers. Then came the downturn and all of these buildings hit the market at the same time, flooding us with inventory, which we are still working through now in 2021. The condo market did rise by 2% to 251 grand at the end of this year, but months of supply still favors the buyer at 4.8. This means that the demand for a detached home exceeds that of an apartment condo by a factor of nearly 3 to 1. So if you've been wanting to get out of your Calgary condo, then this is a better year than we have seen in the last 6 years, but it's still not a lock that you sell through. So all of the details matter here: your specific location, the strength of your condominium corporation, the size and layout of your unit, given the post-pandemic tastes of buyers who want a little bit more space than they did previously. Okay, the next key factor is the general location within Calgary. Now, our city is changing, and we can see some areas emerging as hot communities due to real estate basics. If there's action near you, meaning other people or entities spending money within your market area, then your property value will rise. Things to watch are items like the West Calgary Ring Road, the Green Line LRT, the Foothills Hospital, or South Calgary Health Campus. These are just a few, but there is a buzz about our market, and if you can sell into that, then there's going to be more buyers for your property than there would be if you didn't have a lot going on. If you don't have any of that happening, then you may need to temper your expectations a bit. Lastly, we have price point. If your home is around 500 grand, then you are going to get a lot of looks from keen buyers. This segment was red hot in 2021 and should continue this year as our value proposition moves towards that existing in other cities across Canada, where Calgary is very affordable by comparison. If you're selling to trade up into another house, then this is the year to do it. And this is because our market is trending upward, as you can see here with the difference between price point volumes from 2020 to 2021. So people are spending more money further up market, which means the house that you may want to be moving into will be more expensive, and the upper segments are going to be more competitive as values increase and the trade up equity available to property owners enables them to make moves up market. This same effect will push into higher and higher price segments as the Calgary market builds momentum. So if you've been waiting to sell a higher price home, this will be much easier to do in 2022, as the buyers for your property will be able to sell their existing properties for more money, giving them more buying power, to push into higher and higher price points. Okay, so it's mostly good news for sellers in 2022, which is kind of sweet because we've not had this narrative for Calgary property owners in recent years. Selling your home is a huge decision and with a lot of factors at play. So if you'd like information about what it might look like for your specific situation, then we'd of course be happy to help. Just reach out to us with the link in the description below and we can help you get the answers you need. Thanks very much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next video.